A trailer wheel bearing maintenance video, and don't forget to regularly check your tyres. Have a look at that, eh? Yeah. And I'm going to condense this one down and make it short and sweet and give you all the info you need. I've already got the hubs pulled off and the bearings removed. I'm going to tell you a bit about it, and bada bing, bada boom, you can keep your trailer reliable if you listen carefully. I'm sure there's plenty of people that already know and people that know more than me, but I'm going to give you some info. This is where the seal sits. If it's the rubber seal, this is where the inner bearing sits. Nothing sits in here. And you've got the outer bearing sits here, a washer, a nut, a split pin. So bada bing, bada boom, and you can see the water damage on the axle. Not a big deal, but let's keep looking. Let's take a look at this side. What does this side look like? Similar, looks like the inner bearing's got a bit hot and it's been spinning on the axle. Let's say that was a failure at some stage. And let's look a bit more into the bearings that are in the trailer now that have just been removed. And I'm sure that's about to tell us a story. So take note of that. And this one looks okay. Once again, the seal, the inner bearing, nothing in here, maybe a bit of grease, or you could have a full hub, depending on your setup. Outer bearing sits here, easy to just pop the nut and the washer off the outer bearing and re-lubricate the small one. But often people are lazy and they don't do the inside one. So let's now go and have a look at the contents of what's been removed, and bada bing, work out what went wrong. To keep it simple, this is the side you looked at first, bit of water damage at the bottom perhaps, and this is the side that you looked at second, where the inner bearing looked like it was cooked. Now, I think looking at this bearing, nice and shiny, and it's a quality brand made in Japan, Koyo Japan. As you can see, it says, if we get it there, I know you'll can trust me, it says Japan, then it says Koyo. That's quality, as is this one. Interesting, there was a little shim in there as well, but that's different. But anyway, we'll get to that later when we put it back together, maybe in the next video. Let's move straight across to this side for a minute. And what you can see here is the problem, okay? So that's the biggest part of the problem. Water, grease, who set it up is a problem. There was a lot of grease in these hubs. They're actually really good, but this is 12, 13 years later, so who knows what was back at the start. If they've been worked on, maintained, they've definitely been apart before. I don't know what happened here with the trailer manufacturer, if they put two different sets of bearings, but I doubt it. I don't know how many times they were replaced, but I can take a bloody good guess from my experience what's happened. If you have a look at this seal here, this is the very popular ARC brand, ARC trailer products that some trailer manufacturer might just buy because it's trailer brand products. And sometimes these cheaper products, if you like, they're made to a budget, let's just say. And when I pulled it apart and I look at the back of this bearing and I see all this doesn't look too nice, does it? This is the side that hasn't caused a problem yet. And I go, well, but that bearing's looking pretty average, just that inner, as far as from water and that sort of thing. And when you look, I haven't fully cleaned it up, I just wiped it. Everything's looking, it's a bit dirty, I haven't washed it, but I'm going to throw it away, so there's no point washing it. It's not the worst bearing I've seen, but it's certainly not the best one. And we could look a bit closer and clean these off and try and find some pitting and damage on those rollers, which is what we'd be looking for, but they're rubbish. Do you know why they're rubbish? They're rubbish because they're never going to be on my trailer again. You got it. And I'll show you some of the quality. So the way this all works. So you got the hub. Well, let's just do for those people that don't know. Let's have a look at this side. We've got one each way. So what happens first is this seal goes onto the axle, to that place where I said where the seal sits. Okay? Imagine that's there. This bearing gets all greased up, and the only grease, you got to have grease in the bearing. It's only good if it's in the bearing. This part of the inner, it stays on the axle. It's not meant to spin on the axle. So if you've got a black mark, you've got problems with your rollers, it's not spinning, and maybe this is starting to spin on the axle. And lucky you get to it when you did, otherwise who knows what was going to happen. These do look like original hubs to me, could be wrong. That goes there. This is the other half of the seal, it's stainless steel. You gently tap that in there till it sits flush. Then you can see the way the seal works. This was on the axle, remember? So this would be facing that way. That's the inner side of the axle, and that's your seal. But see the sloppiness? See that looseness? Try and hold the camera really still. Come on, hit the like button for the demonstration. That is a crap seal, okay? Crap is the only way that can be described. Anyway, that's how they sit. And then your bearing, once that's, we'll just take this back out to get it out of the way, but once your hub's around this way and you've put that on with your bearing and everything behind there, then your outer bearing goes in like that, right? And bada bing, washer over the top, and then you've got your nut and your split pin set to preload. We're not going to be able to cover everything in this video, but we're going to cover some bloody good info, like not to use cheap stuff, right? Don't use that. Don't go to Super Cheap Auto and just grab the trailer product brand if you're going to do your bearings. I'll recommend a bearing shop, or make sure you look at a packet of bearings that's got a good quality brand on it. You want something that's made in Japan. There's a few good brands. Right, now we've also got the cones that are pressed in here. To get those out, you're going to need a big chisel and a hammer of sorts. And so you can see that edge of it on the inside there. I'll just have a quick look and show you. See that inner race, outer race, whatever you want to call it. All right, there's you can see the other side. See the edge? You just want to hit that with the edge of your chisel or whatever sort of thing you've got, and they will just push out if the whole hub's not rusted out, which this one's not. And it's been soaked in grease, so they'll be a bit hard to get out and they'll pop out. You'll get new ones with your new bearings. They go in nice and square, put a bit of grease around, lube it, make sure it's clean and lubed. And what's a good idea so you don't damage the new ones is to use the old ones to hit them in, but you don't want to get these stuck. So you get your grinder and just grind a section out of it, or use your hacksaw. Just cut these so they've got the flexibility. That's the old ones. And then you use the old ones, probably put it upside down. Okay, so like that one, upside down around the other way, tap, 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 and you'll be able to hit the new one down to there, so it seats all the way home, as you can see at the bottom down here. All right, that's all the way down. Well, we hope it is. And then you'll still be able to get this one out because it was this old one that you've cut with your grinder, with your Ryobi battery grinder or your hacksaw or whatever you want to do, right? So new bearings in, keep it clean. It's got to be well packed. Like I said, can't fit everything in one video. The grease needs to be pushed through the rollers stuck from this side here. You just palm it on the palm of your hand, pushing the grease in here till you see it come out the other side in that gap there. Then you know the rollers are covered in grease. Then what I'm going to do is put heaps of grease around the outside of the rollers. I'm going to put the cones, I'm going to put grease in there. This is a jet ski trailer. It's going to get dunked in the water. The seals are going to be good because we're going to have quality like this one. I'm going to get to that in a minute. And the hubs are going to be full of grease in case any water gets in there, so the water doesn't touch the bearings or the axle or whatever the case may be. You can add bearing butters if you like, but these hubcaps and seals are working really well. You can see the grease is still blue, what's in there. It's not grey and washed out, as discussed in the other video on our other YouTube channel, 4x4 Adventures. So you might have missed that bit of info, so you might want to be on both, 4x4 Diesel and 4x4 Adventures. So that's where your new bearings are going to go. But the most imperative part is keeping it dry from the water, keeping the water out. So it's important to have a quality seal. So let's have a closer look at these seals. We already know this one was rubbish. Oh, you can see the movement there. Look at the slop. You can even see the mark on the stainless there. See that? Where it just moves up and down. It's sloppy. That's not going to seal. It's going to be relying this. See that seal, how it pushes like that? It's sort of relying on that a little bit. So you can do that repack thing with your grease gun if you've got bearing buddies, and then clean the excess grease out and push these back in again. So that's one way it seals, but the other way it seals is using these lines in here, right? Them pressing on the inside here, but if it's not a tight fit, it's not going to work too well. This is maybe okay for a trailer, but it's not going to go in the water. Now this brand of seal here, you can see, is a good quality seal. It says Guest on it, right? Guest. It says Australia, you know? Because when we used to make things, we used to make some quality stuff, right? Just like, you know, US can make quality, Japan can make quality, and you know what? Everybody, I reckon, can make quality. Just depends if they want to and if they get paid enough to take the time, because it takes time and resources to make quality. But let's just compare these two seals. Now this one, let me hold the camera still, fair test. There's no play in it to move. Now it's not tight, because you don't want to melt that rubber down. You've also got that double sealing factor, so you've got the double seal there, and plus this area here that's going to push, right, against like that. See how there's also another type of seal that gets installed in the back of the hub. They can be not bad as well. I don't mind them. I prefer these ones, to be honest. I really do. I don't know why, but I prefer these seals and I prefer the Guest brand. But this one hasn't got the movement that this one's clearly got. You can see it moving up and down. See the lines, right? So get the quality seals, and now it's going to be get the quality bearings, because what's happened is you can see the quality of these, the quality, the water, whatever you want to call it, right? You can blame whatever you like, but a quality bearing is going to fare better with the water, and it's going to fare better without the water, right? So start off with a quality bearing, and that's what this is here. You can have a look at all the, you just have a look at it. I don't know when it got replaced, years ago, probably many years ago. But what would have happened is this crappy bearing in this hub would have got a bit, how you going, and it's not spinning, and it's spinning on that axle. And that's why I'm making assumptions saying this side's been replaced. So what am I going to do? These days, I think you can even buy hubs, kits, whatever, assembled, but you're probably going to end up with cheap, you know what. Doesn't matter if these are cheap, they'll do the job. They're galvanized hubs, awesome. They'll do the job. The studs look all right. Check everything out. What really matters on quality is your bearing, your seal, and your hubcap, that it's quality, it's not damaged. Put some grease around where you put it on. The grease will help those little imperfections to seal all the way. And I reckon that's about all we got for this video. Pack your bearings, get it back together. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to source some parts. I'm going to get some new quality Japan bearings and seals for these, and I'll probably keep this set for spares that I'll never need, and these will go in the big fat bin, and they can bingo bango, eat a mango. Catch you in the next video. That's your trailer maintenance. You might want to check out 4Before Adventures, because I go a little bit more into talking about the trailer maintenance and the checks you need to do, whether it's your caravan, your box trailers, your jet ski, your boat, whatever. A few things to get you thinking. Catch you on the other channel. See ya.